When I was a kid, my family would always take me to Japan during the summer to see my grandparents, and since I was a kid, my dad would always make me go to school there. During my summer vacation, cutting it in half. I was not happy about it. But I did learn a bunch of cool stuff from it, and I got some neat stories from it, so let's talk about that! Where to begin? Well, let's start at going to school. Most of us, especially those of us in the US, are probably used to being dropped off at school by bus, or for those of us in Hawaii like me, by our parents. Yeah, no, not in Japan. What we did in Japan was we met up with a bunch of our neighbors and organized small groups of kids that would walk to school together. Usually these kids would be our friends. Or was it that we became friends because we always walked to school together? Honestly, I have no idea. Anywho, I was also with one of these groups. It was great fun in elementary school, but in middle school we had drifted apart, so most of the time I ended up not talking to the other kids in my group. Except for one of them. Let's call him, Kamikatsu-kun. He was an amazing guy. Real tall too, and I'm not short. He's just really tall. Oh, and he's Chinese. Just thought I should throw that in there. Now, Kamikatsu didn't start in the group. He got into it kind of in a weird way. So one day I was getting ready to go to school, and then my grandma just calls me. And she said, "Hey, one of your friends is here to take you to school." This was like 30 minutes before the other people in my group usually showed up, so I was like, wait, what? Already? So I walk outside and I just see Kamikatsu-kun standing there. I didn't ask him to pick me up. I didn't expect him to show up. He didn't even tell me that he'd do this the day before. It was just, "Hi, I'm here now." So I walk up to him and I'm like, "Hi, what are you doing here?" And he says, "Let's go to school together." Okay. And so the two of us went to school together that day. It was the best time I've ever had going to school. When I got home from school, I got in trouble for not waiting for the rest of the group. Oops. From the next day forwards, we made sure to wait for the rest of the group before we went. Now, things at school were pretty normal. I know if you've watched too much anime, you probably think it's weird in Japan, but no, it was pretty normal. There were a few things, though. Like, there was this one kid. Let's call him Hirame-kun. He was the class clown. He did a lot of weird things. Now, a few things to remember about this next story. Number one, in Japan, the students have to clean the school. I know a lot of you people in America are like, "What?" right now, but yeah, in Japan, the students have to clean the school. They have janitors sometimes, but usually at the end of the day, the students clean this classroom and some other rooms in the school. That's how it works. Also, in Japan, the classrooms are divided into small groups of like 5 people about, and these groups are called Han. So there was one time that I ended up in the same Han as Hirame-kun, and we were assigned with cleaning the school science lab. And one of the things we had to do to clean the science lab was to wipe down all the tables, make sure there's no dust or chemicals or anything like that on there. So I was over in one corner minding my own business, making sure the tables were clean, when Hirame-kun, he just starts laughing. I'm wondering what the hell is so funny, so I walk over to him and see that he had taken his wet cloth that he was wiping the table with and had wrote Hage, which means bald, on the table. I have no idea why. He then went on and did the same thing to every single table in the entire science lab. So until the tables dried out, you could just see the word bald on every table in the room. I still have no idea why he did that. He also would repeat a short rhyme. Apparently it was on TV, but I can't remember ever seeing it on TV. I found it funny at the time, and I still chuckle at it a little just from the memory of it, but honestly, I can't remember why it was so funny. It went something like, "I am sorry, Hige sorry, Koizumi sorry, Abe sorry." The first part means, "I'm sorry." It's literally just, "I'm sorry" with a super heavy Japanese accent. The second part means shaver, and the last two are just the names of Japanese prime ministers. Maybe you can figure out why I found it so funny, but I can't remember why anymore. the classes would also get interesting sometimes. I remember the first time I had art class in middle school in Japan. I went to class, fully expecting to have to remember random art facts and how certain details in arts would mean certain things and all that, because that's how class went in elementary school. But I must have missed a memo because I walked into the art class that day, and then a girl walked up to the front of the room, stood there, and the teacher was like, "Now draw her!" I'm just sitting there going, "Wait, what? I can't draw? I mean, I can, but I can't do it good." But it was an assignment, so I did it. 'Cause I had to. All I had to do was just glance at the work of the people who sat next to me, and then I immediately knew I stood no chance at all. Yeah, that's right. I didn't even need a good look. I just quickly glanced at my left and right for just a second, and then curled up over my drawing trying to make sure nobody could see it. The worst part about it was that someone next to me looked at me and said, "Hey, can I see what you drew?" With the biggest smile on his face. No. Come on. It's bad. It can't be that bad. Come on, let me see. Then he just grabbed my sketchbook and looked at the page. I could just see the smile drain away from his face. After that, he handed me back my sketchbook, and we didn't talk to each other for the rest of the day. So yeah, that's just a little bit of my experience going to school in Japan. I have no idea how to do an end card and don't have any other videos to link to you, so yeah, please subscribe and like and share. Alright, bye-bye!